So let's look at some examples. First of all is our favorite example of student name, group by student name, and we get the result. And we can also do a group by on student name and the course name. And remember, student name and the group name and the course name are the primary key. So what you are seeing actually is for each student, the course combo, you get the original value, right? So that's why when you run this, you are getting the same value as what you would get if you just do a plain select without group by or without average. But again, like we said, group by is another additional layer of processing. So if you know you are selecting from the primary key based on primary key, there's no need to apply group by. But there's nothing wrong to run such a group by. Okay, now what if we have a group by still name and the course name? You will get the error message says course name must appear in the group by clause or be used in an aggregate function, aggregate function. So this is exactly what we're talking about, because when you do a group by, as you see just now in the first select statement, you get Luke Skywalker, you get one row for each table for each group by student name. Then you have multiple courses. You try to put them all into one row of the student name. You will get a repeating group. So SQL will not allow you to do that. And then you can also do an order by. Now, we are saying we want to order by course name, right? What if I not only want to order by course name, but also average to actual tuition? Note that I'm not putting a having here. I'm not putting an average either. What I'm doing is I try to order this table, this result by a column that was originally existing in the registration table. You can see that actual tuition, it says, must appear in the group by clause or be used in an aggregated function, which means here, well, in fact, actual tuition is used in the aggregated function. What this error message says is this actual tuition must be a column in the result table. So I have to call it actual tuition so that we know it's this actual tuition will be the actual tuition in the result relation instead of being the original column in the original data set. So basically what it does is, it says I cannot order the result set by a column in the original table, because this column in the original table is not in the result data set. In order to order by actual tuition, what it suggests me doing is to putting this actual tuition as the column alias of this average. Right? So this is the only way you will have an actual tuition. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to use this actual tuition in the order by. And similarly, if we are just selecting, if we are just group by student name and try to order by course, we'll have a similar error. It must appear in a group by clause or be used in the aggregate function. And note that here, this error message looks suspiciously like the one that when we select student and the course, but only group by select, right? So it's basically the same idea that you are generating the new result data set. And turn out some columns are not in the result data set because you are it's left out from the group by columns. Okay. Now, how about where and having? Now that you have this having clause, if you remember, we used to run this and get two rows. One is Luke Skywalker with a summary of 230, and now Leia Skywalker has the summary of 700. It's the only one shows because we have this having applied. How about we have this introduction to force, this where clause? It works too, right? It works in the sense that because we apply this where clause to the original table, and all tuitions of this course are lower than 600. So the sum is nothing can exceed this one. What if I change this to 100? Now both shows up. Of course, if I change to 190, then I will only see one student, right? And this from here, you can see that I'm applying the course name filter of where clause to registration. But what if I have this course name filter in the having clause? It says having clause must appear in the group by or using aggregate function. The same error as before. Basically, this course name is not in group by, not in select. So it's the same as the error when we run into when we try to use some non-existing column or column in the original data set in the order by. Basically, having an order by are done in the same fashion that the SQL is looking for data for columns in the result data set. If you do not see the result data set, then that means that column is neither in the group by clause nor in the aggregation function. That's what this error message is about. All right, so much is for group by. I think the most important thing, of course, is the the having, what is no, there are two most important things. One is whatever shows in select must show up either in group by, or work as a aggregated function. And this is similar for order or having. And the second thing is what having is about. Having is about the filtering on the aggregated data set, and where is about the filtering on the original data set.